But I was learning all the time. Learning production skills from when we worked with Jeffrey and Mikey Chung. And I'm fortunate, I would say, to have been exposed to all these people who I've passed through my life.
Well, Noel, we know you. We know you're listening, and we soon, link with you. So keep on listening. And this next song, I think it has it's significant to you, Clevie. So we're going to play this one, and we're going to talk about it.
My love is to the end of time. My love is to the end of time. This magic moment, so different and so new, but like any other. Until I kissed you, and then it happened. It took me by surprise. I knew that you felt it too, yes. By the look in your eyes, sweeter than wine, and softer than the summer night. Everything I want, I have. Whenever I hold you tight, this magic moment, while your lips are close to mine, will last forever, forever till the end of time. Oh, time, oh, time. My love is to the end of time. Time, my love is to the end of time. This magic moment, so different and so new, but like any other. Until I kissed you, and then it happened. It took me by surprise. I knew that you felt it too, yes. By the look in your eyes.
Yes, magic moment. We'll talk about this one shortly, but we have the great Robbie Shakespeare online.
Yes,
Yes, King.
The brother bunch I want to take over the job.
Bass player there.
I don't know. Sometimes we take a little guitar work from them. I get up, Master. Trust me. And I'm a favorite. And I see it all on the bar.
No man is okay and take your work, you know. I do a session with the man. We working with Shereen and listen. And I couldn't stop laugh. Robbie not ordinary, you know. He's not an ordinary bass player, man. I tell you, not an ordinary person. And I give thanks to the lesson king.
Boss, I learn a lot from it, too.
Robbie, tell me something about them.
I love all I do, boss, I tell you.
Feeling neutral, man.
Hey, we're gonna get
Reverend Brownie. That's a Danny.
No, but that's start. Your brethren start drawing the card for me, now. Just beep him out.
Robbie.
Yeah.
We'll get personal now. Tell me if anyone of them can cook like you. Yeah.
Me and Dalton the pensionate tour there now. We cook a mud pot there. We wash the pot, wash everything, cook it, and when we're done cook, we eat and wash up back to the utensils.
Yeah, man. You're the boss, man.
We can't myself look a bit and we just start to can't taste the food or used to taste like in time with the young, you know?
Right.
We just out of necessity that come again.
Okay.
Start cook some food that will really taste away there, boy.
Tell the Robbie, if Robbie talk, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Come out water. It's a bass thing, man. It's a spice, you know?
So, Robbie, you ever bake for them yet?
Bake?
Yeah, for them.
No. You alone taste a one bake.
Yeah, man. Wicked bakings, you know. Okay.
I'm kind of help myself look at you in a bit, you know, and take your time. No, and Barry's put insurance back.
Most definitely.
Anyway, you know, up your card business me the pan.
Straight.
I mean, I wash some clothes too, you know.
Okay.
How you done with Danny so quick, man?
No, make you keep your hand for the beeper. Beep him out.
Man, again, when I hear that.
No, me there say how you make Danny get to so easy, but he might tell Stevenson for beep you out anytime you start. No one you card him.
I'm already feel it, but we love catching him in front, but I'm told we draw a card and laugh and cry. Me and Danny are same month, you know.
Alright.
So when we draw a card, we laugh and jump and all.
Real thing, man.
Okay.
Anyway, the yellow bass and I'm going to listen.
Alright, brother. Give thanks for calling.
That's some of the greatest, and I don't know that, but me I tell you now.
Yeah, man. Give thanks to you for the inspiration, too.
I never know say I listen to me, but me listen to one or two, yeah?
To a rip-up.
I can't just say like each one teach one, and you never too old.
Natural, man. That's how the thing works, man. That's how the thing works.
Can't teach them nothing.
Okay.
You know, me, I'll carry a man that is true that where they know nothing about music and ask him, how this sound, boss?
True.
Me, I don't buy a record when it's done.
True.
So I need a outer ear more time, you know?
Okay.
And slide do them thing that enough question and like when I'm sure I would say, oh, this song, you sure it's right? You know, but
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yes, boss, I'm there.
Alright, respect Robbie.
Great vibes.
Alright.
Robbie.
As Robbie mentioned, though, you know, bringing in a man from outside the studio to ask how the thing sound. One technique we used when we're not sure.
Right.
Sometimes I'll burn a CD in the studio and drive the halfway tree and play it.
Okay.
Watch the people.
Okay.
You know if it will work or not. If it not feel right, it not work.
No movement, now go on.
Yeah,
I feel right.
Okay.
I feel like the people come in, link with it. Yeah.
Right.
There's something
Okay.
I tell people, if you're in a studio and recording a song and the studio look dead,
Yeah.
the song dead. Trust
Okay.
me.
Okay.
Because everybody look happy.
Okay.
You try the happy song and the people, you're nice.
Right.
Studio, man. Studio is a fun place, man.
Clevie, tell us about this magic moment because you mentioned about strip down and
magic
movie
moment,
and thing.
Magic moment, I tell you, Steely was a very, very
because the song have a vibe in it, man.
Because what he was doing is, I was doing drums, of course. Him creating minimalism out of songs that had numerous chords.
Right.
And it is something that great composers and so try to achieve.
Right.
You know, that getting the music to a point where it can connect with the masses in general, the entry and
Okay.
and so. And that Steely was doing it naturally. So that song, instead of playing numerous chords and the chords that were written with the composition, we stripped it down to make the dancehall, I would say, and the sound system culture adapt the song. And also the beat now, I decided to go straight forward with it. At the time we had songs like Jump Up. It's like a happy kind of thing. Our dance music.
Moment.
And it was a magic moment. And on top of that, actually the song was used in a Disney movie.
Okay.
And I was told that the conductor of the orchestra, one of their conductors and music, the chief musician, our chief arranger, composer, made a comment that was the best version he ever heard.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I was blown away because at the time when that comment was made, we were getting some negative criticisms about what we were doing. Some of our I don't know. You remember?
Yeah, I read some things, man.
What kind of criticism?
We're destroying the music.
Yeah, man.
How could we put this great song on one card? But the thing is, I suppose those persons who made the comment thought that we were doing it out of ignorance, I should say.
Okay.
But we made an effort to do it that way. It was intentional.
Okay.
You know, and it connected. And Leroy Gibbons did a great delivery of the song also.
Man,
because you can make music, you know, and if you don't have the right artist to deliver it, you know, it can fail.
After Jammies, you guys started to, you know, work with different producers, and I'm going to touch on some of the songs that why you just done the place with, you know? Here's one of them.
Special request to all the girls who will love to eat out the books, man. Hold tight. Lord of mercy. Me say he's a super cat and me say he's in a man. He's a super cat and me say he's in a man. The one sister said that talk about tough. But the girl in a Jamaica, them a talk about them bobs. Yes, say bobs there. Yes, go and go eat him out, girl. Say bobs there. Me say go and go hug him up, yes. Say bobs there. Me say go and go love him out, yes. Say bobs there. Girl go and go take a set, yes. Say bobs there. Go give him a hickey on him neck, babe. Say bobs there. Me say go and go yam him out, yes. Say bobs there. Say run and yam him out, go on. Say bobs there. Say never and eat him out, yes. Say bobs there. Me say pat and yam him out, yes. Say bobs there. Me shall I eat him out, but if the bopper take a next girl, she no response. She no response. Me say she no response. Make sure every Friday she have the dollars in her hand. I'm take it from the cat him and the ram dance man.
Steve James play tunes. Tunes. This is Bitty McLean saying you're in tune to Steve James on Bess FM. This is the Real Rock.
Now listen to me, express some dedication to all the boys and girls. Dedicated to all the lovers in the park. Lovers in the park, we have to walk and talk. Oh gosh, Steely boy, don't stop now. Come follow me. All of the posse, you come follow me. Yeah, me say all of the posse, you bubble with me. Yeah, me say this one dedicated and no Papa Steely. Yeah, me say this one dedicated and no Papa Tony. We call it sweet for my sweet and a sugar for my honey. If I say I love you, baby, what will you do? Because I love you, baby, you love me. Come let her tell you, baby girl, and we will always be. Come and say this is the captain and name of the wild Apache. And everywhere you where we go and never fight over me. A girl in a yard and girl in a broad and in a Miami. Ragamuffin, Mr. Catty, man, the wild Apache. And a special request, man, not to me, Virgin Steely. Cause me no yellow man and me say me no Josie. No chopping, no Wolf and Jordan, no Lieutenant Stitchy. Ragamuffin, Mr. Catty, man, the wild Apache. We ruling abroad and ruling a yard off in we country.
From the voice of the Midlands, England, Birmingham strong. I fully endorse Steve James. Steve James, go on all up the thing, brother. All up the thing, brother. All up the thing.
Hey, poor people, I'm taking a new style about me, Tarrus. I'm by the way, I want to let me have
Glen, tell me about this one. You love this one?
Me can't tell you nothing more than I love the tune, man. Because you see, when most people killing up themselves about what dancehall is, me I show them say here the African in a way there. You can't deny it, the people them have to dance.
Yes.
I hear me have to talk about it.
I want to tell you this one is the quickest recording we had ever done.
How long or how short?
Half an hour recording.
Yes.
This track took half an hour and voice in another half an hour. But on this one, backing vocals, you know, when I know Danny in it as well.
Yes.
Me and Scatter.
And Scatter.
Okay.
I wouldn't know the words of the song, you know, just go in there and so him say, you know.
Come again.
I would get, come again, Steve, come again. Pretty much say, like I learned that name, Big Ben.
We made an effort at the time to allow for artists who had something to say, but them couldn't hold key. Some of the DJs. So we started stripping down the songs, making them even more minimalistic.
Okay.
And drum driven.
Okay.
You know? And also, introduced the African in us.
Okay.
Because the beat that became dancehall, the poof, poof, puff, is actually part clavier originating North Africa, West Africa.
Okay.
It can be heard today in music from the Hispanic territories and so.
Okay. How about this one? So this was why. Cali, what Silk?
Silk. I tell you, Steely gave Silk his name. Garnet,
yeah?
Silk, yeah. He came to us as Bimbo.
Right, DJ.
Bimbo as a DJ. And then he said he would change his name using his real name, Garnet Smith.
Okay.
But it didn't sound right, like an artist name to us.
Okay.
And Steely said, I have it. Silk.
And then the linen and the ganzi and the t-shirt and everything came afterwards. But tell us about working with Garnet, because to me Garnet had a conviction. You know, I hear people comparing, you know, this one to that one and this one to Garnet, and I said, you can't do that. There's one Garnet Silk.
Yes. One thing I admired about Garnet, he was always singing. And that's an attribute I look for in singers. You must love to sing.
Yeah, if you
Garnet was just always singing.
Okay.
You know? And he came to us before him Dread and all that. You know? So we kind of saw the transition. But what I recognized in him is that he really wanted to make it. And I was willing to put in the work. He used to have to travel back to Manchester after the sessions at Mixing Lab.
Hatfield.
Yeah. He used to have to. And he would stay as late as necessary to get the job done. Yeah, so we decided to sign him. So Garnet was actually signed to Steely and Clevie. We moved him into Kingston at that time and allowed him to also work with people like Bobby Digital, because we had to guide him that he didn't work with any and anybody, you know, with certain select producers. And Garnet, coming out of the DJ culture, he used to write a bit too lyrical. And I used to sit him down and guide him how to write as a singer.
Okay.
Using less words.
Simple words.
Simple, yeah. Right. Not necessarily simple words, but less words. A DJ would put more space in 20 words in a line.
Okay.
But you couldn't, you know, we wouldn't recommend that for the style singing he was doing.
Okay.
We used to, I'll tell you, we thought that he needed to strengthen himself too, physically. And remember, I don't know if it was cruel at the time, but we used to send out Garnet, you know, to buy cane juice. We out down crossroads.
Right.
I would tell him, don't take bus, don't take no taxi, walk and come back with the cane juice. And he did.
Not to cut you, I think we have a call online. Caller, you online? Caller, good night.
Yeah, good night, my brother. Yeah, man, I want to hear the
name and where you calling from?
Well, this is Richard from Mandeville.
Okay.
Yeah, man, and I wanted to say to them that the Brown clan are great Africans, you know, and they have contributed a lot to the reggae music.
Yes.
And to the joy of our people, you know.
Okay.
And I want to make a request of them. First I want to ask them a question. Have you ever worked with Barry Salmon?
I've worked with Barry Salmon.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Double Trouble.
All right.
2:45 Mixing Lab.
Well, could I make a request of you as a clan, as an African clan? You know, we all have dreams, right? And there's this great song by the name of Children Hold On to Your Dreams by William W.G. Howard. You know, I think we all know that song.
Yeah.
You know, I personally think Barry is the only person who could put a conviction to that song. You know, and I don't know if you brothers could put it to reggae music. You know, I don't know if it's a dream that can come true.
We can't regularize anything, man.
Well, I don't know if it's a dream that could come true. I'd love if you brothers could put that with lyrics to reggae music and see where it goes.
Okay.
That's a good time.
Man, give thanks.
All right.
And Steve, you could have been the executive producer, you know?
I don't know if I can manage that.
Who could be executive? Steve.
As a man who control the program, that the request was there, you know?
Okay.
Anyway, my brothers, you know, all the best and keep on doing the thing, you know?
Okay.
Give thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, man. One love, yeah?
Yeah, man. Give thanks.
All right.
Why, so Clevie, when you're, I mean, all of your list endless, you know. Sting, Billy Ocean, Annie Lennox, Heavy D,
Yes.
Jimmy Cliff,
Yeah.
Shined.
Yeah. Actually, Shined, we played the first hip hop reggae group,
Right.
I would believe. I don't know. I've never heard any before.
Okay.
With Shined. When he was signed with Elektra Records,
Right.
you know, we started fusing dancehall with some hip hop elements.
Right.
Not that we plan to move out of our roots.
Okay.
Sometimes you hear elements of other cultures coming into our music.
Right.
And it might end up being too prevalent. We must never leave our roots.
Right.
You know?
Stick to the roots.
That we stick to our roots.
Okay.
You know? And if, ma'am, you say your engineer is a cartel.
Yes, man. Him is a cartel fanatic.
I could clearly hear where cartel listened to the old school dancehall.
Okay.
Touch a button. No, we did that from in the 80s.
Right.
You know, Clark's Booty. You know what I mean? Again, the Clark's influence. So many influences there.
Okay.
And he did a good job of it.
Okay.
You know?
Did he do some co-writing with Billy Ocean?
Yes, we did.
Special a year, Danny said special. I mean, Dalton special come out of Jamaica.
Yeah, Steely and Clevie owned Silverhawk Sound.
Jesus.
Silverhawk Sound System. As with Coxsone and Duke Reed.
You never clash with Tonex.
Tonex was the big brother, so
okay.
They want to kill him too quick.
But what happened as we got more and more involved in production and had less time for sound system, we had to give up the sound system thing.
Okay.
But it was a means of testing our music. Just
testing
like
the market and so on.
Yeah, and testing what it sounded like outside of the studio.
Is there anything that you tested that never really gravitate towards the masses or?
No, sometimes it's not even just reaction of the masses.
Right.
It's how it sounded to us.
Okay.
On a big system.
Okay.
You know? And I was glad when studios like Mixing Lab opened up where there had big speakers in the studio.
Right.
I loved Channel 1 studio where we laid boops and so where you could hear the sound.
What it sound like in a
dance.
What
it would sound like in a dance or so on.
Okay.
You know, we'd crank up the system. When we worked with Skengdan, where we did Sweet for My Sweet.
What a wicked song, man.
That studio, to me, was one of the closest to what we were looking for.
Okay.
I'll tell you a joke. We were invited to do some production for an artist in Trinidad. And when we went to Caribbean Sound Basin, we took Stephen Stanley, who to me is one of Jamaica's greatest engineers.
Vibes master in the studio.
Yeah, one of the greatest in the world.
Okay.
We took him to the studio in Trinidad. The studio was supposed to be the best this side of the world.
Right.
You know? And Stephen ordered a PA system that would be used on like outdoor thing. Because when him start driving the studio, the man them start balls. I don't mind you mash up the thing.
Right.
So Steve said, alright, get a PA system. Got a wall of speakers. Got a wall of speakers in there. You know?
So
when we cranked up the studio,
right.
Black Street was working in Studio B.
Right.
And they came over to the studio and
to complain?
No, not to complain, but in awe at the sound they were hearing.
Okay.
And he told us about No Diggity at the time was a hit.
Yes,
what was a song he recorded, it wasn't released yet.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually when I looked at the small equipment we were using, Steely had this little bass, like a toy looking bass. You know, he said, wow, I hope I can find this in the trash, because he threw it out.
Okay.
But he has to go back to the studio. He had it and was playing like flute type sounds, and didn't know that it could play that big bass sound.
Okay.
Steely named the keyboard Little Wicked. It's so small and wicked the sound was, you know, bigger than the biggest sound you can think of.
Okay.
You know.
And then you several producers, King Dan, Redman.
Yeah, with us
Riley Techniques.
Yeah, and apart from we realized that every producer had their own concept, which coming out of the old analog system.
Right.
I recognize that every studio had its acoustic components, acoustic elements that made them different. The room itself created a sound.
You know a channel one.
From Studio One, from Joe Gibbs, from every studio had its own sound.
Right.
So in going digital, we also wanted to retain that.
Okay.
So we said, let's spread our wings. I could do some sessions at Channel One, sessions at Dynamics, sessions here and there, you know. And we found the producers that would use those studios. Techniques, Carl and us, Redman International, and so on. And the various studios introduced another sound to the Steely and Clevie instrumentation.
Okay.
You know, and you can clearly hear it and define that difference.
Let's hear this one, huh?
I can tell you, Shabba at the time when he signed his major deal, he really dotted the I's and crossed all the T's, as the song says. Because he's the first DJ I saw with willing enough to voice for 5 hours straight. Now this song, at the time, the average song, you know, maybe like an hour, 2 hours the most.
In the studio.
Shabba was so serious about his career. And that gave me hope that dancer could cross over.
Right.
You know, because in the studio, 5 hours non-stop. You know, I only got that
on one song or
not on this song.
On this song
when we're voicing this song.
Whoa.
Yeah, he stayed with us 5 hours. So you have to put in the work, and that's a message to all the artists, all DJs out there. You get back what you put in.
Okay.
You have to put in the work. You know.
Any particular
but those days
reason?
we had no Pro Tools.
Right.
Everything there was a straight to tape.
Okay.
You know, so you had to get it right.
Any particular reason why it took 5 hours, or just?
Partially the song was.
What studio was
partially written, Mixing Lab.
Okay.
Mixing Lab. The composition wasn't complete.
Okay.
You know, so we change up words. You know, work in progress, basically.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're going.
And also Shabba, there were a few things that he thought he could do better. You know, he knew that he could do
in
better.
himself.
So we allowed him.
Perfectionist, right? To extend it,
Because they say we have to remember that at that level, when you're in a deal, you're now competing with the biggest acts in the United States, the biggest acts anywhere in the world.
Okay.
It's not just the local artists you're competing with anymore.
Okay.
But you still have to make it street enough to connect with Jamaica. You don't want to lose Jamaica.
Yeah, you can't lose that feel.
Right. So this song was a perfect blend of both.
Who was the engineer on this one? Steven? Steely.
Yes. Steely was an excellent engineer.
You can hear the vibes in this one.
And when Steely kick off him shoes and run around the board, you know you have a hit song. And this was one of those songs where scream out and kick off him shoes and run around the studio.
Okay.
And you know, I was the more reserved one.
Right.
But I was feeling it. You know, I knew that it would be a hit.
Mm-hmm.
No man, we tell you just can't dance.
Well, much the man can't, someone.
But I tell you, the combination of Steely and Clevie was a perfect union. Steely has born in the ghetto, and me born or uptown. You know, we connected. Yes, we found a middle ground that everybody could relate to.
Okay.
You know, the music had elements of downtown and uptown.
Right.
You know. And we found a balance that worked well.
Okay.
Danny Brownie.
Yes, man. We're going over to Mr. Danny Brownie now with this one.
Get flat. Every posse get flat. Or make the place so tidy. Every posse get flat. My posse flat. And that posse flat. Now make the place so tidy. Every posse get flat. I'm here again, but me come a little harder. Me come to tear out the barriers, don't revolutionize rubber duck style. Come back on ya, come way down low, make me show you up to what get flat. Every posse get flat. I make the place so tidy. Every posse get flat. My posse flat, and your posse flat. But make the place so tidy. Every posse get flat. In the dance floor, the people come together, and them a chant this a rubber dub sound. Hey, just look around, everyone and do the same thing. Because a song your choice make you want to get flat. Every posse get flat.
Yes, get flat, get flat. Member of the Blood Fire Posse. CEO of Mean Street Records, musician, songwriter, producer. Danny, talk to me.
I tell you. Well, it's been a journey. It's been a journey, my brethren. Trust me.
Yes.
I tell people I'm in the industry over 40 years. Them don't believe me because them look like me about 35, you know. So, but they don't look right.
Whoa.
But truth is, we started same time with the rest of my brothers, and and that is over 40 years ago.
Okay.
So I've been in the studio, and thank God for the journey. I can summarize my one quickly.
Yes.
I tell you, you know, I started out. One of the first songs I remember playing was Steely, actually. We had Steely at Channel 1. I think it's Kushumpeng. I think it's
Frankie Paul.
Frankie Paul. Tell me a little youth, me a little youth, you know, have a big guitar bigger than me. And on that same session, I remember Robbie Shakespeare walked in the studio. Robbie wouldn't even remember them things.
Yeah.
They kept moving me all over the place. One time I was playing bass, would move up, play guitar, because I just can't play anything. I remember Robbie come and take the bass from me.
Yes.
And that same session, and I ended up playing guitar and everything there. But fast forward, go by years, that was my introduction to mainstream recording.
Okay.
Then I started playing guitar for prior to that, playing a couple bands, like the Titans, and went through Sagittarius. I was Yellowman's backing band.
Okay.
And then the Caribs, Jackie Jackson, them. So my schooling kind of in the hotel circuit.
Okay.
And segued from that into going on tour with Freddie Mcgregor.
Okay.
And during that time, I remember when Bob Marley died, Judy Mott, the I-Trees, they were working on that album with Tom Bell.
Okay.
And at the time, I was rehearsing them. I was like, helping with them, they were doing harmonies and so on. So I used to go rehearsal with them. And Judy Mott came back from overseas with this machine, which was the first time I was seeing this was a drum machine at a program, but it was like a Roland machine. I've never seen anything like that before.
So was she gonna use it in studio?
I don't know where she buy it for. She don't have a clue. So every time between the thing there, it was a deal. It's a month. I would just take up the machine and start just mess with it. And I remember Master Griffiths would come and said, "Danny, that's so nice."
Okay.
That was Rubber Dub Soldier. That was the first thing. I was just programming this drum beat. I said, you know, because maybe no machine could have programmed. You do a press and you get a salsa beat or something. And this was like 1982. And I never heard anybody do anything like this, but I remember she'll say, his master said to me, "What, Daddy, that's so nice." And that was the beginning of that.
That was a big brother to the 606.
Yeah, you know, this machine, I've never seen one like this before. It's not this little...
And never again.
Yeah, it's just one of the machine like a mono out thing there. And that was sort of an encouragement, and we started, and out of that group, Blood Fire Posse.
Okay.
And that was the first song we did. And then after all that,
just to let people know, you wrote Get Flat.
Yeah, man. I want to tell you something. I want to remind Clevie of something. That machine, that drum machine that played Get Flat and those songs, was the same machine that Steely Clevie bought it. I bought it from Willis Stewart, and he bought it from me and started the jamming thing. So the same Blood Fire machine was the same machine come through the whole jamming thing.
Okay. Thank you.
So we actually
soup it up though. Soup it up.
Yes.
So we are a little bit ahead of the sling thing era when we started to program drums. And
right.
But my experience with the whole drum program came when Judy Moore, they were working on an album called Working Wonders.
Okay.
And I always say this is where I officially met Robbie Shakespeare now.
Okay.
I remember doing that session and every bass player in Jamaica played on this song. Because every bass player to play on this recording and couldn't find the bass line. And Robbie walked in the studio after about a month. They called Robbie, and Robbie just listened to the song and said, "Ready."
Let me tell you.
The bass line that Robbie put down. But here's the bittersweet in it now. I go make a mistake and go correct him. He was playing that note that we didn't really want. That
just
note,
knock you out.
That note was wrong, but that's that note I want.
Right.
And me, the little brave one, because you know me, Glen.
Yeah.
Me have to speak up, because nobody know what to say. And I go tell Robbie, I don't know him, you know. I mean, Robbie Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And Robbie tell me a string of things.
Well, you know.
But I don't think Robbie remember all them things. Because I was a little youth.
Yeah, man, we had him in studios already, and you know, he mentioned that boy, you know, when it comes to finding a bass line, him said that him can find it very quickly.
Yeah.
And him said that when Family Man, it's hard for Family Man to find a bass line. But you see when him find a bass line there, the wickedest bass line. But Danny, you know, one of my memories of you is when I was living in Watcherius, working on the other radio station down there. You probably don't remember, but I used to come up on weekends and boy, I used to get them box of 45 from you, and, you know, full of Main Street music like crazy. You know, Red Rat and Buccaneer and all of them people. General Degree. Yeah, man.
Those were the good old days. So the school, you see where my foundation come from. That schooling again was very important.
Right.
You know, as we say, from youth days. Being inspired by the older brothers and then coming through to experience, playing with Robbie Shakespeare and all these great musicians.
Okay. Who were the members of Blood Fire again, just for our listeners?
At the time, well, a lot of people don't know this, but Clevie actually played on the first recording we did, which was the same Rubber Dub Soldier.
Okay.
The marching drums at the start.
Let's hear it.
You don't embarrass me though.
No, man. So this is Clevie. Military band.
Live. That's live.
I'm just a rubber dub soldier.
And Paul Blake and vocal.
Paul Blake.
To keep the rockers alive.
I'll then Trapper John.
Why, you embarrassed?
This record is a mono drum machine, you know.
Yes.
The first minute I don't know about a drum machine. Right?
Okay.
This thing on the studio that worked at. But I tell you this, beg my bridge and a piece of tape.
Okay.
I come man, we used to work with, Jack Clamo. You remember Clamo? Clamo had that tape. I never have no tape. I never have no money for buying a tape. But Clamo had that tape.
Right.
Yeah, man, Clamo had a tape with a space. I was like, Clamo, I beg your space. And Mikey Carroll. Trust me, some studio time. Creative sound studio time. The studio just setting up. They never even finished set up.
Yes.
And Squeeze from Peacemaker. Peacemaker disco, Duke full of Peacemaker. Take some of the disco equipment and carry down the studio to get effects.
Okay.
We didn't have anything in the studio.
Okay.
And just plug in and make it. We don't know about engineering, not that hard.
Whoa.
We just do a thing. Man, you said that song that playing, it was Barry G and David Radigan and a Clash.
JBC, I still have those cassettes, you know.
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, man, 1984. I still have them. I remember when this one dropped too. Yes.
Yeah,
man.
First people hear anything a sound like this.
Yeah, man, I'm saying.
What this new sound.
Radigan straight to the head.
And from there, so I mean, the song just took the place by storm.
Right.
I mean, England no good. At the time when we started Blood Fire Posse, it was Trapper John, Alden Stewart.
Yes.
Was the keyboard player. It was Clevie was the original drummer, I'd say, because we didn't really have a drummer at the time.
Right.
And then Carl Eaton, who was now deceased.
Okay.
Came as is Trapper John. Yeah, and Trapper John is also deceased, the keyboard player.
Okay.
And we had Benji, Donovan Ben Nevis. He's now with Rough Cut. He was a bass player.
Okay.
And Paul Blake on lead vocals and myself.
Okay.
So that was the core of Blood Fire Posse.
Right. But Danny, you're working with some big international artists now, man. You're doing some stuff.
Yeah, in the last couple of
Beyonce and Pitbull.
We did last year. Clevie and I did a remix for Beyonce.
Right.
A song which is coming on our new album.
Yes.
And yesterday I finished mixing a song with Pitbull for Pitbull.
And Vegas and Pitbull.
Yeah, man. That song coming out soon too. They anticipate it should do well.
Okay.
But I mean, in these times, it's good to be still relevant.
Right.
Because the truth is that at one point you kind of figure say your time pass and pack up and leave, but you
remain
my
relevant.
brothers can tell them I determine youth. I push if I want something. I don't limit myself.
Okay.
I can dream it. I'm going after it. I'm just that person. If I can think of it, I don't what it takes to get there.
Right.
And so,
boy,
it's been a long journey, It's been a long journey, and I thank all the persons that have influenced me along the way. I must say, I must say this though. One of the biggest influences for me, and that kind of solidify my wanting to be in this industry. There's two things. Bob Marley, first of all, that album, Catch a Fire. It was Catch a Fire with Talking Blues and them songs. I remember that's where I started to really tune into reggae.
Okay.
And then Bunny Wailer did the album, I think it's Protest.
Man.
There's a song named Battering Down Sentence.
Yes.
You know what name? But the bass line for that song there. You see the bass line? They say, man, maybe in the bass line, say, me, this is the wickedest thing ever in my life. And I always wanted to reproduce something like that.
Okay.
So this sort of influence that. And as people said before, Studio One, them vintage songs, is like my belly button cut right there, so I love it. Love it like, you like a plate of food, I'm into it. Yeah, man, love it so till. So.
Robbie.
I think
the keyboard player.
Yes. So,
I think we have a call online.
Yeah, man, I'm here, man. All Robbie shit.
Bedtime, Robbie.
You must read credits,
Yes, man.
Battering down sentence.
Yes, man. Curtis, you are the boss.
You are the boss.
Just a tell them say you, Robbie.
Okay.
You are the boss, man.
We hear them sound weird.
No, but the bass line come like you hear your lyrics when it attacks. Like you hear that talk to me.
Melody. I come from out of the whole family man butcher school.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of love the melody line them. And since I've late now when singing and sing it, we end up a play some rhythm, just some mixed rhythm. But when I'm singing, man, you can't come up with wonders, man.
Hey Robbie,
yes,
tell me if you know this one, if you can hear it.
Yeah?
Can you hear this?
Hold on, man. Yep, boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Dun, 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 dun. Boom, 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 boom. Then, boom, boom.
Yeah. That one a wicked man.
Yeah, man. But then, you know, I tell him I used to do some production together.
Yeah, man. When I get there.
You know, you say it.
You would appreciate it.
What if I think him off to tell you?
But I must have secrets them still, but it's alright.
Well, listen to your kind of start.
When I start tonight.
But that is that though.
Yeah, man, respect,
man. Mr. Carlin and trouble. Respect. And again.
Yeah, man.
All right then.
So you see, you saw the music still. We have to give thanks for them things because the influence, you know.
Right.
And even today, I mean, I don't know. I love them kind of bass line, you know.
Round
bass line.
Solid.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. You have to plant the speaker box in the sun.
The bass line would talk to me, man. The bass line would jump out. If not the bass line, good, the song not good.
Right.
So we're gonna compromise on that.
Boy. But Danny, you write some wicked songs still, you know?
Well, me involved in over writing, yes, over the years. I want to tell you, sometimes I wonder, you know, if writing is one of the areas that I need to strengthen, I need to do more.
Yes.
But I'm lazy. My problem is if I'm writing a song and stop,
That's
likely
it.
I'm going to get back to it. So, right. Unless somebody
that sounds like a Gregory special.
Game over. So, it's one of the things in recent times I've been thinking, you know, about getting back into my songwriting thing.
Right.
You know, as a youth growing up, I used to write a whole heap of songs.
I mean, Get Flat, Heads High.
Yeah, quite a few songs.
Yeah.
Most of the songs that I worked on, most artists who work with me know that I'm one of the people who, you know, I try strengthening any song I'm working on. I feel it must be the best it can possibly be.
Okay.
So if somebody may come with something, an idea, and I'll try and take that and make it into something, you know, more, you know, I don't want to use the word fabulous, kind of something.
Right.
Is you get red rat? Oh no.
How about this one? This one here.
All of the girl I'm on notes of them classic. Make me see another ear from you can block traffic. All road boy motorist. Watch it. Yeah. Where the traffic stop right there. Yeah. Where the traffic stop right there. Yo, traffic blocking. Gala come down in her tights and stocking. Watch our hairstyle whopping. And the dress code ever shocking. See rubbing, traffic blocking. Gala come down in her tights and stocking. Watch our hairstyle whopping.
So you come up with them scuba dubba thing?
No.
You just write the song.
No, you know, be the man who do that thing, man.
Yes.
So, it's part of the whole experience, you know. Once you're in studio as a producer who hands-on, you know, you direct and you guide and you correct and you fix and tweak and, you know.
Okay.
But basically you build tracks and, you know, you set that as a foundation and then the songs complement the thing then.
Okay.
But, you know, I say I tend to be one of them, you know, rounded type of producer.
Right.
Producer arms house dancehall because the truth is, I love dancehall. You know, I apologize for it.
My little engineer asking who play bass on this.
Me? All the tracks.
Daniel played everything. I mean, he wrote the song. You know, Shelly and that girl, Shelly Ann. You remember that song? Yeah, man. Here comes 4G Goofy, Bone Lies, Mota Baruka. You don't remember them songs there? Tell us about the gospel side, because boy, that is a whole another realm that you dig into.
Yeah, A few years back, I answered a call and I started to attend church, and obviously, as a musician, this is what I do for a living, and a producer. I started producing gospel music, and introduced what they call reggae gospel. It wasn't really reggae gospel; it's more like dancehall gospel, because a lot of young gospel artists wanted to experience that. You know, because the church is synonymous with North American music and the European music, and so I was able to add that authentic Jamaican flavor to the church music.
Okay.
You know, got some flack for it. I mean, was told that it wouldn't work and called me all kind of names and all kind of things, but you know, I was about to change my experience, you know, although it's just a matter of adding the word of God to the same experience, and I tell you, it turned out to be a major thing, that revolution in the church. You know, we introduced it, and a lot of artists have come through the same Main Street camp, like Prodigal Son, DJ Nicholas, Gotti, Chevelle Franklin, Junior Tucker. A lot of these gospel guys. Well, no, I didn't work with Papa San. Papa San came out before me. I worked with Stitchy. I mean, most of the prominent gospel artists today, the ones that are more known for the reggae style, I worked with them, and we do co-writing and all those things with them. You know, Ryan,
Chrissy D. What a voice, man!
Wow, I tell you,
to this day, one of my favorite singers, you know.
Yeah, and she's now in the church also.
Yes,
so she's working on her gospel.
Give Love on Christmas Day.
Yeah, man.
My daughter, I mean, for one whole year, you know, coming home from school, all when Christmas gone, Daddy. Yes, man, I had to burn it on a CD. And every time I pick her up from school, she's now 6 years old. Give Love on Christmas Day.
Yeah, man. Those were good times, you know.
Yes.
You know, because the experience that and the sort of experimentation we had to do to come up with the songs that, you know, I was always known as like a uptown producer.
Yes.
I guess I probably would be one of the first of the batch of what them call uptown producer, because I mean the artists them would laugh after me, you know.
Yes.
Say we are come with them words then. Well, we change, you know, go more hardcore. And I said, no, man, the words that man, I need to expand the vocabulary, man. I need to start settings, I need to read newspaper and start expressing yourself and load the try, my and bike type of the rhyme, you know. You, true and blue. You know, the thing that done, man, we, be, see, you know. We need to expand. So I was always pushing that, you know. And you know, I mean, we because of that, I found that even my dancehall songs were songs that people would buy and take home. You know, Red Rat is a classic case. This, you know, it did exceptionally well. For a thing that I remember, Green Sea Center is the biggest selling album they've ever had, was Red Rat's album, and because it was a more fun album, it wasn't dealing with dancehall things per se. It was just dealing with just lightheartedness and fun, and that was always me. Cause me love laughing, I love tell jokes. The thing there.
Like when Robbie draw a card out for you, though.
No, I want to tell you something. I want Robbie going to laugh, because Robbie should remember the first song Main Street that we had as a hit. You know, Robbie and I had started a label sometime in the early 90s in Poematic. So it was Robbie Shakes and me, and we did a song named Maddy Cry with Papa San.
Okay.
You know, someone, Lord, me can't take it no more. Papa San a ball. It was Robbie and I did that thing, you know. And out of that came General Degree Granny. And that's where Main Street started. So it was actually Robbie Shakespeare himself that played on that song. And Main Street segued from there. You know, it's a long story. I mean, it's a whole heap of things. Because Stitchy was one of the men who encouraged me to start my label. You know, as at the time, Clevie and I worked on his Atlantic project. When he was signed to Atlantic, we did most of the productions for him. And then keep on saying, when you start the label, I said, I can't, but you know, deal with artists and everything there. You know, I just want to make music and, you know, set the record company and whatever. And that was a push towards Main Street, and we got involved. We played a whole heap of songs, man. Garnet Silk, work with Garnet Silk.
Yeah,
and
as I said before, every week I used to come and get a box from you.
Yeah, man.
The latest.
So that way, man. Come and get a box.
A box of 45s. Box me not try and box me.
You come get a box from me, man.
Man.
Yeah, man. So we're putting out the hits, and we thank God, because you up now. One of the memories that just this week Vegas and I were talking. I did the song Heads Eye with Vegas.
Yes.
And then right after that I went to the church. I got saved.
Okay.
And the song entered the British National Chart. And just this week, me and Vegas, and I didn't even know these things. There was a time when he went on top of the pops.
Right.
Oh, I'm so excited that him run up on stage and bust. He said the most embarrassing thing ever reach him. Him go out there and I try to sing the song and just so, nothing to sing.
Well, let me tell you this, and this is another thing I never forget. I was in the studio when Vegas came to you and said, "Boy, Danny, are you more on boss me now? Are you more on boss me now?" Yeah, man, I remember that day very, very clearly. Oh, boy.
It's ironic that, fast forward a while, almost 20 years.
Yes.
And I'm in studio with him working again and, doing these projects. So him get involved with Beyonce and
yes.
Pitbull and, these.
Yeah,
and him come back and find me.
Right.
And we have a solid relationship, where, had man and man, over the years,
yes.
I share, one thing, I'm not selfish as a producer, but anybody come around me, I teach them. I try and teach them as much as I can so they too can go and experience same things. Because I'm not insecure in any way, shape, or form as a musician or a producer.
Right.
I just do my thing and everybody, and just share the love, Just we say, body for us grow and the more timing, and if I can help a man along the way, I'm there.
Boy, when I saw him on some fest, I just say he has just blossomed and mushroom into a great artist on stage, and if he captivate and hold the crowd and very versatile and so on. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. He has held his own for a number of years, and I think it amounts, and something what Clevie spoke about a while ago, is professionalism. He's a youth who are very committed to his career.
Right.
I love to see when an artist will get up a morning time and go work out, exercise, get them vocals in place. Vegas is not the greatest singer.
Right.
But him have a vibe. And him do the best of what him can do with his vibe.
Right.
And him committed to it, and in terms of his business ethics.
Yes.
He's a man, him taking business serious. And I learn from them youth, because I watch them grow over the years and see, what the experience that they've gathered over the years.
Right.
Them come back and use it in these times. And artists from his era, most of them done in the business. There's very few artists standing,
True.
And he has stood the test of time.
Right. And then there is Papa San and Stitchy, whether it be gospel or secular. Them, I saw Papa San a few months ago on TV. I think it was TVJ. Them man, they have lyrics, and them man, they in any shape or form, man.
Yeah, man. In the gospel arena, the man at the top of the game, it's like,
yes.
It's amazing to see how them transition, and it's not non-fake, it's not an act. The man them real, the man them mean what they must say.
Okay.
Papa San is now a pastor